So today I went to a comic show. It was the Route 10. Start again. So today I went to a comic show, picked up a few books. Let's take a look at the keys I picked up and why I grabbed them. Up next on this video from Bronzeville Comics. Hey there, panelologists. This is Jim from Bronzeville Comics coming to you with another video. Welcome. Enjoy the show. Before we get started, please like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate all that for the channel. We're getting close to 4,500 subscribers, and we will be soon starting to get announcements together for our 5,000 subscriber giveaway. So if you enjoy the content, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Also follow us on other socials. Instagram, Bronzeville_comics. On Whatnot, Bronzeville_comics. I do sales every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. And if you've not yet signed on with Whatnot, you can sign up using the link in the description to this video. That will get you $10 off your first purchase. And that'll be if you buy from me or someone else, it doesn't matter. Also, in the description of this video is a link to my eBay store as well as my email. So if you have questions or you're interested in something, reach out. So I kind of also, I usually go through books that I pick up and I have 4 S's. Save, Sell, Slab, Spec. This collection is going to be 2. It's either going to be Save or Slab. So there's nothing that's going to get turned around immediately, and we'll take a look at that. We'll talk about what I picked up. And this is the second time I've gone to this show. It's a monthly show on Long Island. It's called the Route 110 Show. And it's mostly comic vendors. There were a lot of people in there, a lot of people I know from the community that were set up. Streetside Anthony, Fury Comics, Lone Wolf Comics, Com Comics. And I actually spent more time just chatting with people than actually buying comics, but I did buy some comics. I bought comics from just 2 vendors. The first vendor, and they had a nice selection, and they were half price, right? Everything was 50% off, so that's going to pull me in. They had a nice selection of Silver Age books, specifically DC books, which I'm looking to put into the collection. That was Colonial Stamp and Coin Shop. So they were on Colonial SCS, I guess, on eBay. They had their books graded pretty accurately. So the prices I thought were good prices when you took the 50% off. And I thought it was really fair. So one book I picked up is Batman 157. This I needed because I picked up a Batman collection about 2 years ago. And when I went through and started actually grading the books, I found out that this copy, I think it was missing a coupon. Maybe somebody went to Palisades Park. If you notice, DC books from this era have advertisements for Palisades Park, which was an amusement park in New Jersey that closed either late 60s or early 70s. And it was kind of near the George Washington Bridge on the Palisades of New Jersey. So books that are in my area of the country have more of a propensity to have that clipped than, if you live in California. Nobody's going to clip the coupon to go to an amusement park in New Jersey. Anyway, long story short, that had a coupon clip, so I picked up this. This is a nice mid-grade copy, which is kind of what I'm looking for these Silver Age Batman books. So that was cool. That is going into the PC. And then I picked up 2 adventure comics, 330. No key significance to this. Nice, that's probably a Kurt Swan cover, Legion cover. For some reason, Brainiac 5 is becoming a gorilla. Superman's getting fat and Colossal Boy shrinking. Oh dear. Some shenanigans are afoot. This is 330. And again, that's a nice mid-grader. Like a very good fine range. This, I've been looking for this for a while. And this is a gorgeous copy. This is potentially like in the 9s. But I'm going to save it. I'm not looking to slab it. 376 with this Neil Adams cover. He did a lot of the adventure covers and a lot of other DC covers in this era. That's kind of where he got his start before he started drawing Batman and Green Lantern. So these are all just, you can imagine that helped these books jump off the shelves, and then you were inside, and the art inside was like not quite as good. So what this does is those two books mean that Adventure Comics, which ran its original run was it ran up to issue 490, and then it went up to issue 503, 491 to 503 with digests. And I've been working backwards. I want to go all the way back to the first Legion of Superheroes book, but this takes me all the way back through 323. I have every issue from 323 forward. I'm missing less than 10 issues from 300 on. So, you know, we're 95% of the way to 300 on, and then I do have a smattering of issues, and I'm kind of picking that up slowly. I see books at shows. I'm not really aggressively pursuing that, but, you know, if something comes in a collection or whatever. So then I went to Mike at Comics, and he had half price off. So I picked up this just because I want to read it. If you've seen a recent video, I had picked up issue number 1 of this at the flea market, and then got it back in a 9.8. So I actually just want to read this. The reason I had that book graded, it already has value in a 9.8, but the reason I accelerated that in my grading process is because I have a theory that if they do cast this character, and it makes sense because it's a diverse character in the MCU, and I've heard this elsewhere, that maybe Jenna Ortega for the Daredevil series would be cast in that role, and that would just cause that book to go on fire. Now, of course, nothing's going to happen for the foreseeable future since the writers and the actors are currently on strike. So all of that kind of movie-related stuff is got to go to the back burner. Then this book, it was in the $5 bin. I just decided to grab it. It's a nice sharp copy. It does have a little bit of crease, but I'm not in it for the condition that's going into. Just, I like that those Super Giant books. Then I picked this up. I think this is the next to last issue of the run. I had stopped collecting hardware at some point. It ran for, I believe it was 50 issues, and basically these milestone books kind of limped to the finish line. I have 1 through 34. So this is a sharp copy, but I think it's got a little bit of stuff going on here that's going to keep it from a 9.8. So I think I'm just going to put that in the PC for now. The rest of these books are all, I think, 9.8 contenders. And so I was kind of looking through keys in their bins and looking for books that I think I could submit for a 9.8. And I have like a model that I use to say, okay, if I think a book is a 9.8, last 9.8 pre-screen I got back, I got 17 out of 25. If you're picking books up for kind of raw value cost that is maybe, let's say, $10 to $20, maybe a little bit more, and then they come back as 9.8s and they're worth 10 times that, that's worth it. This book I keep picking up. The movie's coming out soon. I probably won't have this back in time for that, but I want a 9.8 for the personal collection. Infinite Crisis 5, the first appearance of Jaime Reyes as the Blue Beetle. There are 2 covers of this. One is a George Perez cover, which is Superman battling Superman, and this is the Jim Lee cover with Blue Beetle. If you've seen the trailer, you understand that's a really comic accurate costume they're using in the movie. So I do think that book does have a little bit of legs. People are kind of giving up on the DC stuff, but again, if things kind of get back to normal, in so to speak, in Hollywood, then I do think Blue Beetle is going to be part of the DCU going forward. It would be really kind of fun if they had him just like a little cameo in Superman Legacy, because I really think they got the casting right on that one. Then I picked up Umbrella Academy Free Comic Book Day book, which is the first appearance of all these characters. And, of course, there is, at some point, going to be another season on Netflix. Earth 2, number 1. Again, these are all really, really beautiful copies. First, Val Zod, who is the I can't even say African American because he wouldn't be of African heritage. He'd just be, because he's from Krypton. Anyway, Michael B. Jordan was at one point attached to this project. Still a nice key to have. Modern key you need in 9.8. This was a gorgeous copy of this book. This is a book a lot of people pass up. It is ROM number 31, and it's tied for the second appearance of Rogue, and it's her first cover appearance. Right? Because she's not on the cover of Avengers Annual 10. So this is a minty copy, which is good for a book from, what is that, like 1981? I think it's a very early book. Speaking of that, and this is a book I really want in a 9.8 because it's tough to get in a 9.8. It's Marvel and DC present X-Men and the New Teen Titans. It's a great Walt Simonson cover, and it's a wraparound cover, which is another reason, rather than a back and board, to have it slabbed. But this was kind of a fundamental part of my comic book experience because when I was in high school, the two biggest books to get were X-Men and Teen Titans. Those were the kind of ended up at that point being the flagship titles for each company. And I think for someone my age, reading these in high school, those are the characters you're related to. So this is really a cool book. It also is difficult to get in 9.8 because it is a thicker book. So to keep that, that roundedness of the cover. But this is a real contender. The only thing is it's bindery. Hopefully that would not detract from it, but we put it in a pre-screen, see what we get. I'd love to have that in a 9.8. Then there was this Captain Marvel, what is it, 16. First appearance of Phyla Vell, who we saw is one of the Kitty Brigade in the MCU at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy. So that's a book that jumped when the movie came out, and I think I got it for a good price, and especially if it comes back 9.8. And then this book is pretty clean. I'm hoping, would love to get a 9.8 out of this. It's a classic cover, and it's Amazing Spider-Man 306, just this classic Todd McFarlane cover. No key significance to the story, but it's a classic Todd cover homaging Action Comics #1. And to make it even more, this is a gorgeous copy. I'll probably put this in a 9.6 pre-screen because it still has a lot of value in a 9.6. But I can get a 9.8 out of this in a newsstand from this era. That would be awesome. So, yeah, I did a previous show. I picked up some books from Mike, and he had just some really high grade books. So I'm looking at, it's going to take me some work to do it, but seven potential books to go off to get graded as potential 9.8s. If I get 4 or 5 of these back, that's a home run, right? Basically, if I get 2 of those back, I paid for everything I bought today. So that's kind of the idea that I'm going forward with picking out books that I think are particularly high grade. And if I examine them, not quite, put them aside, save them, sell them, whatever. And if they come back rejected, same thing. But if you get enough of those books through as 9.8s, then it really, either if you're going to save it, it really enhances the value of your collection overall. And, especially for books copper forward. And some of these are late bronze. The Rogue book and the X-Men Teen Titans book are late bronze. If you can enhance your collection that way, it just increases the overall value of your collection. That's my theory. I mean, I know people like to keep their books raw, and other people have other ways of collecting, and that's fine, but that's just kind of my thought process. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about the books I picked up. Quick little video here. In the meantime, take a look at a couple of my other videos here, and this is Jim saying until next time, enjoy your comics.